Today we're going to be talking. Hey folks, today we're going to be talking about electric fields. So what I'm going to share with you right now is my notepad. Okay, so there are two rules when it comes to electric fields. And if you're not sure what an electric field is, it's just kind of the idea that, this positive charge and this negative charge have, retractive or attractive and repulsive forces kind of coming between here. So we want to sometimes draw what those forces look like, and those forces are called electrical fields. Now, there are two rules, as you can see here, and I'm going to kind of demonstrate them in these pictures below here. So the first rule is that arrows will always move from positive to negative. So when you're drawing arrows, you want to kind of have them drawn like this. So notice how kind of the positive end, the arrow is pointing away from the positive end and it's pointing towards the negative end. Now, when we're doing something like this for each individual atom, kind of how I like to draw it to start off is I like to do, 4 lines and then, kind of bisect each one of those lines. So I have a total of 8 coming off of there. And these lines will kind of bend depending on, what it's being attracted to. And then here for my negatives, I like to kind of do the same thing, except now the arrows are kind of pointed inwards. And then again, I'm going to draw a total of 8, just like so. Now, the second rule here is that the arrows do not cross. So I'm going to create a little bit more space here. So I know then, for example, that if I have, a total of 8 different lines coming off of my positives, I know that this arrow, for example, is going to be coming out. And this arrow is also going to be coming out. And kind of the idea is eventually these two arrows will collide. But we know according to rule number 2, arrows do not cross. So instead, how we're going to have to draw this is we'll kind of draw it like this. Actually, that's not the best drawing. We'll draw it like this. So notice how in both these cases, these arrows kind of, avoid each other the entire time. And then again, we might think that this arrow would be like that, but then of course this arrow is crossing over. So how we're going to draw it instead is we're going to kind of draw it curving up. So our final product will look, maybe something like this. I don't know, just something where kind of the arrows are, pointing away from each other. And so this makes sense, right? If we have two positively charged forces, we'll notice that those forces are trying to repel each other, and that makes sense here. The charges are going to try and repel each other. They won't stick together. So then, in this case, they'll be trying to force each other away. Now, if we compare a positive to a negative charge, remember those are attractive forces. So how it's going to look is actually it's going to look a little something like this, where you'll see they'll kind of, I don't know, maybe connect up a little bit, kind of like so. Yeah, just like that. And then maybe, I don't know, these arrows will just kind of point out like so. But then kind of the idea is there's a little cone, a little shape where, another negative charge or positive charge could kind of get sucked into, so to speak. Now, you might be wondering, okay, negatives and positives will both repel, right? So wouldn't these two, drawings just be the exact same? And the answer is not quite. They're actually going to be a little bit different here. So let me draw what that would look like. Remember, these arrows are all pointing inwards. So let me kind of draw them all pointing inwards here. Like that. So we've kind of already drawn the top of the arrow, so now we just really need to draw the bottom, the tail of the arrow. So maybe it goes up like this and down like that, for example, and then, I don't know, maybe something that kind of looks a little bit like this. Again, notice how the arrows are kind of curving away from each other. they definitely don't want to touch at any point in time. So they're going to want to kind of avoid each other. So again, then, if we kind of look at the whole thing, notice how it should look very similar between the two drawings. But then with the positive, the arrows are, here on the outside, versus in the negative, the arrows are, you know, on the inside. So anyways, that's electric fields in a nutshell. Remember these two rules. Arrows move from positive to negative. So, the tail should start from the positive end and the head should end on the negative end. And then just also remember arrows are never going to cross, so kind of draw them curved so that they would connect with each other. All right, guys, that's all I've got for you. So thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next time.